Welcome back to Off the Thread Reds. We're a group chat of above average Reds fans, overreact, overanalyze, and for some reason, we just keep coming back for more. We're going to break down what's happening in the Reds season to the highs and the many, many lows of being a Reds fan so far this year. This episode, we're really going to be talking about why we're just a 500 baseball team again. Very average. Is it the bullpen? Is it the team hitting? Is it the injuries? Is it the managing? Maybe it's all of them. We'll kind of break down our thoughts of what's happening. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about the not so great series against the Guardians. Guys, what do you guys think so far about our Red season and more specifically this series that we just watched this weekend?
I mean, I think it screams why we're a 500 baseball team. Let's do just a little recap real quick. 11 hits today, 3 runs scored. In the 9th inning, you're down 8 runs, and you're getting into base path outs at second base, rounding toward McLean. Like, these aren't things that teams that are going to win 94 games and 90 games and 80, even 89 games like we had predicted are going to do. Simply put, like, pitching hasn't been good enough. I know we're down a couple of pitchers and like things aren't the same, but the guys that we're asking to step into those roles and do things that they don't typically do aren't really doing that outside of Andrew Abbott, who's now picking up some steam. You can't rely on 3 to 4 dudes to be your entire offensive production. That's just not going to be good enough. If we're going to start calling out names, like, there's only 3 to 4 dudes who are consistently producing on this team. I'm including Steer in that, who it's just been May, but has been a big factor of why we're even staying afloat a little bit. Yeah, just tough series. 1 and 2. Happy to even get 1 win, but don't know what to think. Tough.
They did their best to blow that game Friday night too.
Yeah.
To your point, John, like they're doing so many dumb things, and we talk about this, or maybe I just vent about it in our group chats. Like they walk in runs, they have wild pitches that lead to runners scoring. They're getting picked off at second. They're doing so many just frustrating things that like great teams maybe they do, and you just are oblivious to them because you're winning and you're having a good time, but they're in such kind of a skid where it it just these things are starting to be heightened from my like viewing standpoint. Like every time there's bases loaded, assume they're gonna walk the guy in, and I'm right like 6 7 times already this year. They've just been doing so many just dumb things, even just walks in general. I feel like walking leads to just situations where they have a runner on first and second. All of a sudden, when there was 2 outs and no one out on walk, little blooper hit. Next thing you know, they're in a tough, have to get out of a high leverage situation. Managing as well, I feel like a little bit of times where you wonder what Terry's doing, where like Trevino's bunting and then pops his hamstring, like just stuff where you're like, maybe like we shouldn't be doing a lot of this stuff, and putting in questionable players like Luis May, like has awesome stuff, and we talked about it. It's just, is that the time to put him? Like if you can steal a game with Paddock in as your pitcher, and you're in a situation where this is a tough game, let's win this one, let's win the series. And they just, I don't know, they find ways to just sit there, not as an old man, but just yell at the TV and be like, I hate this team.
Yeah, I felt like, Mark, I think you said it best. Like, what were we thinking when we could steal a series from the Guardians and it is a high leverage inning and we put Luis May in, thinking that he could, shut down the middle of the order or just kind of get through the inning? Like, no offense to Luis May. He's got unreal stuff and I'm excited to see. I mean, he's young still, but like, that is a high leverage situation. As Tito, like, I understand your bullpen's thin, but you got to be pulling someone else. Like, and worst comes to worst is like today you got just waxed. Like, it wasn't even close. Use Luis May today. Like,
Yeah.
so like that's the thing that was frustrating. And I obviously late night being a couch manager, me being me, I'm sending these texts like, why is Luis May and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, yeah.
But
100%.
yeah, but the thing that's killing me the most right now is like our lackluster ability to just make a competitive baseball game. I feel like by the 3rd inning, it's either, hey, we won this one because we're close, or it's just we're getting killed. Our run differential is just so whacked now.
So funny. It's so funny.
I'm a diehard. I'm going to watch all the Reds games, but like if you're just an average Reds fan right now, you don't want to tune in and watch the Reds because they're losing 8-2 by the 5th. So I don't know.
I've turned them off a couple. Like I turned today off. I was like, I got stuff to do. It's my Sunday. I'm good. They've lost this one. Let's see what
Yeah,
their record schedule
I
is.
was sad to see that one of our relief pitchers in Trevino got sent to the IL.
Yeah,
He's one of the ones we've been relying on. But yeah, man. If we can touch on the Tito stuff, like I don't know, I back Tito, I get on Tito. I did the same stuff when David Bell was here. I think if you're a fan of the team, you have the right to get on a manager when you disagree with them. You have the right to agree with the manager when you disagree with them. In some of these cases, like Sam Maul gives up a hit, has 2 outs. You put Pierce Johnson in, the guy he faces hits a home run. It's a lefty. Sam Maul splits are better versus lefty than Pierce Johnson so far this year. Not like a little bit, like a 130 to a 290 split. You're asking guys like Dane Myers to bunt with, he's the ghost runner on second.
never
Dane Myers
bunted.
there bunting in the 10th inning with no outs. Like just some of these calls where like I can understand that that's kind of the way that he's trying to preach. We should be a small ball team. We should try and score like the Brewers score, score like the Guardians score. Jose Ramirez is taking bags left, right, and center. But the fact of the matter is, like, we don't execute like the Brewers execute. We don't do what the Guardians do as successfully as they do. So we shouldn't be trying to play that brand of baseball. And unfortunately, I think what I had said in spring training, I think what I've harped on the entire time, the only brand of baseball I think that's going to work for this team is requiring your pitchers to pitch lights out consistently. And the moment that changed this year, so has kind of our consistency, and our struggles have become a little rampant.
The Brewers run differential, John, they're plus 61. They're also they're 8-2 in the last 10. We're 4-6. Our season differential is minus 35. So, I mean, we're almost almost 100 runs off from the Brewers in terms of
Dude,
just what we're and the Brewers are in second place. They're sneaking up there. They're 26-18. This is exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the season. They just find ways to win, and it's so frustrating. And if I was a Brewers fan, I would just be so overjoyed that like they continue to succeed in this way.
the Brewers, like, they find ways to get 3 infield singles in inning and move runners over. We find ways to commit 3 errors and somehow only a man's on second base
Well,
and
it's
no
like
one scored. What are we doing?
we get lead off, it's like hit, and it's like the strikeout. Sal gets picked off, and then it's just a lazy pop up, and you're like, well, they had a situation to just maybe get a run or two back in, and it just turns into just a fizzle out, and you're like, well, they don't get off his offense consistently, and when you do put in a situation, they find ways to just absolutely throw it away.
It's not just like everything switched when we got to Pittsburgh. Like it wasn't just the baseball aspect for me. I feel like this team is committing more errors. They're not looking as sharp defensively on the base paths. They're not as into the game. Like nothing looks the same about this team from what we saw through mid to late April until we got to Pittsburgh. Um, Looks like a completely different ball club. And I'm just more and more concerned as we're going to get into the dog days summer and we have stretches against Brewers and Dodgers and Brewers and Dodgers and stretches like the Cubs versus their Cubs and then Padres. Like those stretches are going to be tough. Our bullpen's getting utilized like you wouldn't believe, and it's showing. We'll have to see what we're made of. We're going to have to dig out of a hole that unfortunately we're putting ourselves in.
The hole's not even that, like, as negative as we are, like, they're 5 games out, and I'm saying they're gonna win the Central, that's just not gonna happen this year,
Sure.
but just in general, like, it feels like we're absolutely screwed for the year, and we're not, but, to your point, I mean, going to Philadelphia right now seems like just
What are we going to
We're-
do?
we're-
just the worst.
You know what's actually going to happen? No, actually, I'm not going to say what's going to happen, but
We're
I'm
gonna
just
sweep
saying.
the Phillies.
Yeah,
No.
what? The Reds are somehow going to sweep the Phillies. But like, we're about to go play a very, very good baseball team who actually has been underperforming this year. Our bullpen's going to be just done for after this series against the Phillies. We're already been used a lot. They are just going to be washed.
That off day on the 21st will be nice, and then Cardinals at home will be really nice to see if they can get out of this division weird funk they're in, and then maybe take care of the Mets at New York before the Braves come to Great American and hit maybe 300 home runs.
You know what this is shaping up for perfectly? we're going to be 54 games in, sitting at 28 and 26, and
Yeah.
we're going to have a classic 84 win season or right at 83, 82 wins. Like when we were sitting there at 20 and 11, you're starting to dream a little bit about like, what if we get to 30 wins in the first 54? Like that is more than obtainable. What if we get to 33 wins in the first 54? At that point, you've kind of built that cushion for these August and September months that we've been looking at, and you're like, go only win 25 of your last 54, and maybe you still have an 85 to 91 season. Now you lose however many of your last 15. I think we've only won 3 or 4 out of our last 15. So that's why I said dig a hole. Like the record's not indicative of that, but the momentum and the way the team looks surely is.
And this is when, like, I know we talked about the national series probably way too much. Finding ways to just like winning that second game and winning the series is so huge. Like, just having that on your resume, like finding ways to win series where you should at home is huge. Maybe not getting swept by Pittsburgh and blowing 3 games in Chicago. Like, you're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every series, but like the games that you do have an opportunity to win as a 500 team are more and more important as you kind of look back at them.
Yeah. I think, Mark, I think you said that the best. Like these, games that we're losing in the extras or in the ninth inning, or we blow a lead in the seventh, like those do come back to get you. I mean, that's the difference between the Brewers and the Reds. Is the Brewers finish games out, and currently we can't. And we could talk until we're blue in the face about us being an average team, but I think the one thing that the Reds are kind of hoping for is we stay 500 until the All-Star break. We stay 500 until we kind of see what our rotation can be, what we can pick up, what we can do. But I mean, it's a scary game that we're playing this June or the rest of May and into June. It's going to be a tough go around. So I'm curious kind of see what's going to happen with the Reds and how we can adjust to it. All right, let's go ahead and kind of move on with our talking points. We'll do our real quick segment, Elly De La Cruz MVP. So Elly De La MVP right now is looking pretty good. He's batting .302, 11 home runs, 31 RBIs, 9 stolen bases with an OPS of .904. Now, thank God we have Elly De La Cruz on our team, because if we didn't, I don't know where we would be right now. He is one of the hottest hitters, and JJ Bleday on the Reds, but just keep it up, Elly. We're looking for an Elly De La MVP. All right, let's get into roster updates. Cap, you kind of filled this out. We got some sad ones, but also I think some realistic ones for Reds fans to hear.
Yeah, quick ones. This is something that we talked about, him being a DFA candidate after his last stint in the MLB. Reese Hines has officially been DFA'd. I still don't think teams will be out on him. I think he will get picked up. He's had 51 or so at bats in the MLB. I don't think he's seen his best days so far, and he's got unbelievable pop, and he's an athletic in his mid-20s. I don't see how he doesn't get taken away. Trevino, 10-day IL. I touched on that. Catcher/relief pitcher, gets about equal work at this point. So we will be missing him for that 10-day stint. Luis May is going down to the AAA. His time in the MLB was spent with a bunch of what ifs. If he could locate, what would that look like? For a long time, we thought Zach Maxwell and Luis May could be the 8 and 9 future of the Reds, maybe one day. But right now, they just need to focus on throwing strikes. Jose Franco called back up to the Reds. I think this is in dire time as well. Like we had spoken about, we need someone who's got arm, just literally a working arm. So he hopefully can come in, give us a couple stretches of 2 innings, maybe even a stretch of 3 innings, and just kind of help take some of the burden off the bullpen. And lastly, I believe coming back after PJ Higgins was DFA'd last week, the Reds have picked his contract back up, and he is coming up to replace Jose Trevino at the 10-day IL. One thing I will say is he's the ABS master, so we will welcome him back with open arms. Give it a tap, give it a tap, give it a tap. Yeah.
Who's replacing Trevino? I know we made the joke. I mean, I'm really curious. Who is replacing Trevino when we are losing like 14-2 and it's bottom of 8?
Oh, I think PJ Higgins is the guy that has to step in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
For sure.
PJ, part of you getting your contract picked back up, you're not only going to catch, we're going to be asking you to pitch a couple. That's just going to be the nature of the beast.
Backup catcher. That's your role, baby.
And then also too, like, does this just really, like, you know how like the Bengals have big off-season tasks like fix the defense, offensive line, all this stuff. Do you think the catching situation is, like, clearly the front office,
Yeah.
like, just I mean, even Cleveland traded for a backup catcher, right? Like, before in the last few weeks from San Francisco, like, just trying to figure out, like, what to do, but, just thoughts on kind of Trevino getting put on the IL again, and then old Higmeister coming back.
Yeah. I mean, catcher, I think you are hitting the nail on the head. Like, when you look at our entire organization, you can kind of skip by Louisville a little bit outside of us playing this game of cat and mouse with PJ Higgins, of picking him up, sending him down. But like outside of Louisville, you have the Crystal. He's in Chattanooga. He's probably the next guy up who's going to see bigs from our farm system. I know a lot of people are saying Alfredo Duno, but I think McChrystal would just be up there just slightly sooner. Duno's got a little bit more that he has to work on defensively. But outside of those two, Tyler Stevenson's in a contract year, so who knows with that. Trevino is just like consistently injured at this point. You've got Will Banfield, PJ Higgins. Like it gets kind of bleak at the catcher position pretty early on.
Yeah, I think they got to make an effort this offseason to sign a catcher. I'm curious what catchers are going to be up. Tyler Stevenson won't sign with the Reds again, just because of arbitration went kind of whack. I could see him probably going to the Braves, being a backup catcher down there. He's from Atlanta. That would just make a lot of sense. But I don't know. I'm nervous about the catching position because it is a very important, and we've kind of been spoiled because we've had an average to an above average hitting catcher for the past 5 years. So once that goes, it's like, who's going to bat sixth or seventh in our lineup? It's not going to be the catcher. He's going to be batting ninth. And then if we have Key Brian Hayes batting eighth before that, oh man, we're in for a whirlwind next year. So I'm just curious to see kind of what ends up happening. But the nice thing about it is we do have a young, talented catcher. So it's like, all right, we got time. But as a Reds fan, there's always time for prospects to come up, which is always a bummer. They're never just here winning. We'll live that forever. But thanks for the roster updates, Cap. I appreciate you putting that together, and good question, Mark. Let's go ahead and get into Cap's Corner because I think we need a moment in time to hold ourselves accountable because I think our thoughts on the Reds were a little, too forward, I guess we could say, in the hopes of us being a above average team, because right now we're not. So, Cap, go ahead, take us away. What is our Cap's Corner this week?
So my thought is these are things that we're willing to kind of toss in the towel on, right? Like sometimes you gotta hand up, you gotta be the accountable one, right? So we've had a lot of takes thus far this year. And some you just gotta say, hey, I'll chin it that I was not correct on that. I can start us off. I've written a couple down here. The Reds completely flipping their narrative and that they win all 1-run games in an extra innings. Hand up. They do not do that. I mean, they did for like 11 in a row, and still their record would show, and you'd be like, oh, they do win that. But I mean, the baseball team we're currently watching, and what I'm going to believe is the Reds for the remainder of the year, they are not a team that can consistently be counted on to score a ghost runner, especially when you're asking someone to bunt. When you have a man on second with no outs versus having a man on third with one out, and the probability of that run getting in only gets increased 2 or 3%. I digress. Hand up, my fault. ESPN writer, if you're out there somewhere, I believe I was very negative of you about our pitching staff. And
The whole city was, John, not
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I said top 5. I said we are top 5. And I think I got a little screwed with every negative thing and injury that's gone our way. With that being said, we are not top 5. You can't be top 5 when your bullpen's got the highest ERA and your starting pitchers consist of like Brady Singer. I mean, I don't even know. Like that's home run derby every 3 or every 5 pitching days. Louder when he was up here, he's down now. Like we got Chris Paddock. He's 0 for 5. He lowered his ERA though, so we'll see. Another accountability moment. Hand up. I said Sal would win MVP and Rookie of the Year and be the first player to ever do it. Hand up. I don't think he's going to win MVP. I am not relinquishing that he will not win Rookie of the Year. I think he still has a good chance of doing that, but I do not see him winning both those. Those are my hand ups. Maybe I'll have some more come to me. I don't know if anybody wants to, own up to anything today. Kirby, go ahead. You've got some things
All right,
written down for us.
Yeah, so I had two. They're really related. I was in high hopes at the beginning of the year. I said we were going to be a 94 win team. I'm going to be lucky if we're an 80 win team at this point. So hand up on that one. That is definitely, emotions got a hold of me there. The other one was one which maybe it could happen, but I doubt it. Reds winning the NL Central. I don't think it's going to happen. If anything, we're a wild card team. We're a wild card team again, like always. But listen, it's a long season. There's a lot of baseball left, and we're not even to July. Maybe something crazy is going to happen. But in reality, those are terrible, terrible, terrible future picks for me. So, yeah, Mark, go ahead.
I think I had a few. Like I think when we were riding that high of like the 20-11 start, are the Reds a good baseball team? Hand up. I think they're exactly what they're marketed as, and I think we were too romantic on their success early on and thinking maybe they're different. The thing that makes me think, to your point, Kirby, like it's a long season, all that stuff. There's not really lots of signs that the ship is heading in the right direction other than Ellie, JJ Bleday. If he keeps this up, he is going to be traded out of here quick, just as a trade piece. Just no, because he's performing at such a high level, and he's owed no money. Teams, Tampa Bay would love for an opportunity for that. I think I did a lot of Mark's metrics of Emilio Pagan 30 plus saves. Loser. I think Eugenio Suarez plus 90 RBIs, unless he comes back and starts bringing them in. Loser. I think there's a lot of things that I guess I was wrong on. Just and I am glad that they're at least right where they were marketed as versus a lot of red seasons. And this is sad. And I thought about this. There was when I was mulching and having more fun mulching today and sweating. I was listening to the TV broadcast, and it was like, happy 100th birthday to so and so in Hebron, Kentucky, 100 years as a Reds fan. And I was like, that sounds horrible. Literally, it sounds awful. And I wonder how many times this poor woman has been let down by the Reds, because as we were turning 30 this year, I could count a lot of times that was let down. But
Times.
this is my fault. Emilio Pagan, 30 plus saves. What am I, nuts? Loser. What I should have done? TJ Anton plus 1 save. Winner. I think there's probably a few that I'm missing, but and everyone listening, watching, the 87 people out there, I want you to take a moment and think through what did you think about this season up to this point, and say maybe I was wrong about that, and drop us a comment. See what you've been wrong with.
Yeah.
Because it can't get worse than the Emilio Pagan 30 plus saves. That one's just,
I don't know. I think I've 3 times this season gone, Matt McLean's the best player. Matt McLean's the worst player.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare bring up Matt McLean.
Matty's on a tear. Matty's on a tear right now.
Matty's still McBangs.
Hand up accountability as well. Jerry was right. This team is the definition of a seesaw.
I wonder how many years Jerry's been let down by this team as an older man himself. So
60? Who knows? He's got his kids' ice cream tonight.
Jerry
Froyo or whatever. The listeners out there, we started laughing before Mark went because we all looked at our live document, and just underneath all of our comments, it was just Jerry was right. This team's a seesaw. Jerry, listener out there, just keep the negativity, because I'm about to go some optimistic view. Are you guys ready for this before we move on from Cavs Corner?
Yeah. Hey, it's only going to get negative in Mark's metrics, so get it out.
This is my optimism coming out. It's better for us to have the feeling of being able to actually say these things than for us not to be able to have the feeling at all. I mean, listen, at one point in time, I thought we were a 94-win baseball team. At one point in time, Cap, you thought Sal was going to win MVP and Rookie of the Year. Mark, at one point in time, Emilio Pagan.
Amelia Pagan.
I didn't even mean to do that. He was as good as Mason Miller. I mean, at one point in time, we had all the hope in the world. But it is gone. Pessimistic now is this team's average, guys. And we're going to be sitting here all summer watching an average team and talking about it twice a week. So hopefully you guys are strapped
just
in
like that, if we get to 29 and 25.
If Matt McLean can will this team.
You guys seen Spencer Steer lately? Most clutch guy in the MLB. I'm talking myself back in.
I'm in.
What happens? What happens when Hunter Green comes back?
The best trade that they're gonna. How would you like a multi all-star pitcher coming back, a flamethrower, a number one ace?
Who then's
coming back? We're gonna give him a bobblehead upon his entry.
Yeah, hey, you know what's gonna happen? Hunter Green's gonna come back and then he's gonna get injured in August when we're like 5 games below 500.
No, we'll go on like a 10-game winning streak. We'll be all just drinking the Kool-Aid, and then it'll just start to unravel. It'll be a Pittsburgh will come in and start the chaos essentially.
If we could also hand up for the Cincinnati Reds, they need to be accountable. Oz the Mentalist, but only one social media clip. What are we doing?
No, you have a whole season. You have a whole season to just release, little tidbits, right?
You're right. You're right, because we're gonna book him next year.
It's gonna be July 24th, July 31st, and we're gonna be we might be 10 games behind the last place wild card spot, but here's Oz telling Sal Stewart who's behind door number 2. It's crazy. And the worst part is I started listening to Bengals podcasts about the upcoming Bengals season because I was more interested in what if Bengals talk than I was about watching this Reds team in Cleveland. And that's a sad thing to say. And I love both teams. Only one man can save us.
Joseph.
All right,
let's get worse.
We got to move on. We got to move on before one of us throws our computer or walks out of the room. So, Mark, take it away with Mark's metrics. I need something.
Oh no.
Mark's metrics brought to you by Masali Law. When life throws you a Luis May curveball in the dirt, you go up to Blue Ash. You see the good people at Masali Law, and they take care of you like family. Mark's metrics. Two negatives, one positive. We'll go with the negatives first. I'm going just buzzsaw week in Philadelphia. Phillies money line against the Reds tomorrow, minus 125. Lodolo under 16.5 ounce. I don't see him against that Phillies lineup making it through 6. So those are the two that go hand in hand. Might parlay the two together. I haven't made a sports wager in a few days. I might deposit some money and do a little 1 + 1 = 2 there. I also am kind of mad that Schwarber is not a Cincinnati Red, and the 2 salaries that we probably would have dumped to make room for him would have probably been Brady Singer and Emilio Pagan. So that's just beating a dead horse, but hang the banner. Lowballed Kyle Schwarber in the 2026 offseason. Maybe he would take a hometown discount. He's going to put 3 in whatever the closest body of water there is in the Philadelphia area. And he should. I'm rooting for Kyle Schwarber.
Not a bad take. I mean, yeah, I as I'm looking at this, I'm debating in my head what I can legally say and get away with and what Masali Law, can I say this is financial advice? Probably not. So I won't tell you to say that. But I mean, in my eyes that are not financial advice eyes, this looks like a great investment.
I'm looking how to take a loan out on my 401k balance right now.
Yeah. How do I borrow against my mortgage? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let
me see what the parlay looks like.
You know that teacher's pension? Let's just take it all out right now.
Yeah.
Just put it on this. Hey, on a real note, you know what, Mark? I see what you did. You
Yeah,
gave
I
this
know.
bet.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh,
Don't say
okay.
it.
Never mind.
Yeah,
there's
Listeners out there, you know Mark's streak. All right, you know what he does.
Emilio
Mark, you're a smart man.
Pagan plus 30. Yeah,
You're a smart man. All right,
it's I can't even parlay them because DraftKings knows that it's just they just know that
Free money.
It's good as gold.
gonna happen. Yeah.
Free money.
Positive. There is one baseball team that is succeeding that we've given love to here and there, and I think we should. And I hope that this isn't a kiss of death piece. I'm not placing the wager on this. The first two I will. UC baseball to win the Big 12 tournament. The ranked UC Bearcats, the team that won on senior night this past weekend, plus 600. Not bad value. I think they play still in the Texas Rangers Stadium. Is that where it was? I once again, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it to our alma mater. But in my head, I'm wagering plus 600 because I love UC Bearcats. I love UC Bearcat baseball.
Baseball talk. You might know this, Cap.
Yeah.
How can we host a regional? Do we have to win the Big 12, or can we
I don't believe you have to win the Big 12. I believe
Isn't
it'll
it just
still
ranking?
fall in the rankings.
It would be just ranking.
Second thing being, this year it's not in Texas, it's in Arizona. Surprise, Arizona, something like that. 37 and 19
Stadium
could be 37 and 19 though this year. They earned the first double bye, I believe, in school history. So automatically in the quarterfinals, 3 wins away from like program record. I mean, dude, this team's damn good. Pitching's good. Just added a freshman pitcher that's really delivering. We've got unlimited power at the plate. I believe there's been multiple times this season where players have hit 3 home runs in a game. One game, 2 players hit 3 home runs. It was total 6 homers a game. Like, Bishop Ball is already dominant, and when you face an SEC school and you're putting players in motion every play, a brand of baseball they're not typically seeing, it's going to make it tough on any team in the country. Then you pair that with what they were doing already last year, they're still doing, stealing the most bases, moving over runners. You pair that with power that we didn't have necessarily last year, that is just like infinite. You've got a team to compete.
We got a golden spikes finalist on our team. Like
Quentin Coates.
Quentin Coates is
he just hit another home run. Yeah, he's killing it.
I'm really curious how a UC baseball regional, maybe even a super regional, would look like. Like, do you think they'll sell out like the stadium? Like, how is the approach going to be? I hope they do. It's going to be the nice thing is Clifton in the summertime. People, Cliftopia, for people who live there, they understand. It's a special place. So I hope students get out there. I hope people get out there. It would be really cool to have a sellout crowd there. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, boys, there's no fan thread. There's no fan question. There's no scoreboard stumper.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If we live to 100 years,
no,
how many times will we be let down by the Cincinnati Reds? If we let's just triple our life.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see the Reds win one at least.
You think so?
Yes.
With a salary cap implemented?
Yeah, even that. Okay, I'm going to say 2 now with the salary cap implemented. I think we will. I think, think about how much. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say something dumb, but think about how much talent and how good of teams we've had here in the past 20 years. Like, we've had, I think, at least 3 or 4 seasons where it's like, oh, this could be an NL pennant team.
That 2012 team. Yeah. Arguably
2014, 2013. 13 just sucked because we just couldn't get it done. But like, I think we'll see one.
Haven't seen.
Wow,
haven't
that was a terrible way of saying that with a question mark at the end.
Haven't seen them. True Cincinnati fan right there, questioning everything.
Haven't seen them advanced. Like, and that's the funny thing in the expanded playoffs too. That's the best part. Is like if they find a way to like sneak in and win a best of 3 series, they're gonna like pop the bottles and be like, you know what, we've advanced to the NLDS, and you're like, well, we've been in the NLDS before. So it's frustrating. But I was just thinking that when I was panting and thinking that the good Lord was gonna call my number, trying to mulch today, I was thinking, if I make it to 90 or 100 years, God forbid I make it that long, how how many times will I sit there and be like, I hate this team?
Listen, I take this from a holistic view, a Cincinnati sports fan view, and it took me like 22 years of life to see a playoff win of any sort. So like, we're really gonna jump to winning a title. Like it's been 28 years, and I got there once, and a holding penalty against Logan Wilson sent me to the underground. Like I don't know if I'm ever gonna. I don't
We
know
don't
if I'm
talk about that. Yeah, we don't
ever
talk about that.
going to see
Yeah, we don't.
anything nice. I mean, we had a great time with Homer Bailey pitching scoreless innings, and Hunter Pence slides, catches the ball. They win 3 in a row. Like, I will expect sadness as long as sadness continues to be delivered. As long as we have seasons where we go 20, 21 and 10, and next thing you know, I check my wristwatch and we're 25 and 24. I'm probably going to be a little hell-bent on being negative about my sports teams. But don't you worry. Hey, the Cyclones, they're going for another, what, Kelly Cup or whatever you call it? Like,
Don't bring in the
dog,
Cyclones.
don't like you can't even you can talk in like MLS. We got FCC. They might do something someday. The Cincinnati Bearcats, the football team and the basketball team aren't looking too stellar. The baseball team's at least looking decent. But there is like you can go as far as the eye can see as a Cincinnati sports fan, and it looks like the Sahara Desert to me. Where are you going to find a crop that's going to grow into a championship on this farm? I'm waiting, Mark. You've got that finger
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you
just,
loaded.
got, yeah.
I'm just pointing up to Joe Burrow. The Jermaine Pratt like interception that sealed that Raiders playoff
Raiders. Oh yeah.
is still like one of those like if you're ever sad, I will watch the like AFC Championship highlights of the Bengals at Chiefs where we came back like 18 points. Um, I mean, I'm trying to think if the Reds were to win, what series would it take for the Reds to win for me to be like, oh, like reach that peak of happiness of when McPherson took us to the Super Bowl, and we'll leave it there because I still think they won in my head the Super Bowl. But like it would probably would have to be advancing to the NLCS would probably be somewhat equivalent. No, like I'm
Yeah.
trying to think like
Yeah.
what like I would be ecstatic if they won a wild card and won the NLDS. I guess I'm just trying to think like
You know what would actually, this is going to sound terrible and putting the bar super low for the Reds. I would
That's
love to
fine.
just see an awesome season where we just win the NL Central. Like we take it. We're one of the best teams in the MLB. Yeah, we start off on an NLDS, which would be sick. Yeah, maybe we win that. But like for us to just take the Central and be a really good baseball team, like almost 100 wins baseball team, that would be such a fun
like
summer.
the Brewers season last year, right? Where the
Yeah.
expectations were pretty good team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they win like would they win like 20 in a row?
Mhm.
Something where it was just like they couldn't lose and just
Like that.
make the summer fun where it's
Yeah.
like I love this
Yeah.
baseball team.
How much fun was it when we had 12 in a row with the 2023 boys, with the Braves in town, and Ellie hits the cycle? Like, that was some of the most fun baseball that I can like think back on. Like, it's been that bleak since those 2010 to 2012 days that like you start thinking back on memories from 2017, and you're like individual plays by Zach Cozart and Brent Phillips. Like that's what we have to look forward to in
And
those days.
the thing that stinks now, like moving forward, is like hearing like in national like interviews, like the Reds are not in a position to extend Sal Seward. Are they going to be in a position to like when the trade deadline rolls around, they're going to go, "Hey, I'm going to swing and take on a $75 million contract." No, because they're not in a position to offer $100 million, right? So what is the this team that they have now is essentially what they're going to continue with besides a marginal piece
Yeah.
besides a Miguel Andujar or a Zach Littell or somewhere where you're like I guess that makes them better but like I don't know they're not swinging for the fences in the front office and I think we're going to see this team kind of go up and down throughout the year.
You know what? I think when we get to the All-Star break and we're trying to make some trades, we should look for a really, really good defensive outfielder that has good track record of being a bad hitter, and that's who we should target. That's the kind of guy, and maybe a degenerative disc in his back that's never going to get better. I think we should find that person and give
6 years
him.
left on his deal.
Yep, $9 million a year.
Yeah.
Make sure he is our outfielder through 2030. I think that would be Smart play.
Well,
That's
hey,
your fan question for the
Yeah.
I
Holy.
appreciate the fan. I appreciate the fan question mark. We needed that. All right, let's get into our series preview of probably the make or break series of the season. I'm just going to say it now. I'm going to say like this might be the 2026 Reds season. So we're going up against the Phillies in Philadelphia. You know that our boys are going to struggle because they're going to be hearing some mean comments. Like always, love you, Philadelphia people. Monday, we got Lodolo versus Painter. I think this is our only chance this series to feel comfortable. If Lodolo can get out there and throw like 5, dude, if he throws 6 quality innings, I'm all about it. But
no. We keep
I
5
know, a 5,
and
I know.
2/3.
5 2/3. I think this is going to sound really bad too. The Reds have actually been hitting pretty well, and we haven't been winning, which is terrible. So, I mean, if we can keep swinging the bats, anything can happen. Tuesday is going to be absolutely awesome pitching. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to watch this game on Tuesday. Like I highlighted this one early. Chase Burns versus Luzardo. I mean, like you might see a Chase Burns outing where he's a dog and throws like 7 innings, or you might see him leave in the 4th inning. So curious to see how that one goes. And then Wednesday, Abbott versus Nola. I feel like these are just Abbott's not a vet, but he pitches like 2 vets going out there trying to do what they can do. But again, I think Tuesday is the highlight of this. But what are your guys' thoughts going in? And we'll wrap this one up here in a second.
Mark, you go ahead and take it. I'll pitch it off to you, brother.
If you absolutely blindfolded me or put me in a block of ice for the last week and a half and awoken me and said, we have Lodolo, Burns, and Abbott, and we're playing the Phillies, I would say, I love it. I love it. Lodolo scares me still because he hasn't had much time. Burns, I'm so excited, but I'm also, to your point, Kirby, very hesitant because Philly has a good lineup. Abbott also just he's shown signs of like, being the pitcher he has been. It just seems like that first inning's I'm just not gonna watch the first inning and just hope that he gets out of it. They win one. They win one. And I wanted to say they get swept kind of like they did against Cleveland, but um, I think I think Chase Burns carries them. That's it. That's the only way.
I mean, yeah, we're playing in Philly versus the Phillies and
It's
things.
gonna be like 90 degrees too. It's gonna be
Oh
hot.
yeah. I mean, their crowds turn out. They've got good pitching. I'd like to think we have 2 out of 3 significantly good pitchers going out there, like Burns coming off good outings, Abbott coming off good outings. Lodolo's a huge question mark. I will say this. So in the Cleveland series, I predicted 1 of 2. That was the first time this year that I predicted correctly. I had predicted 2 sweeps previous to that. One was in Pittsburgh and we got swept, and the other one was versus the Angels and we lost 2-3. I predicted against Chicago we would win 3 of 4 and we got swept. So I'm feeling hot. I got my first one right. Having said that, everything's looking bleak in Philadelphia. Go ahead and give me the Reds sweeping the Phillies. I think the Reds are going to sweep the Phillies. I think I'm going to have my words that I talked this entire episode shoved in my face. I think we're going to exit Philly 27-23, going into the Cardinals, where I will jump the gun and say that is where we will get swept when we play the Cardinals at home.
Ooh,
But we are going to sweep the Phillies.
So you think us as would you call us a descending
There
team?
it
Or
is. There he is.
would you call us an ascending team right now?
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
Phillies are
with you,
ascending.
brother.
I think we're
Philadelphia doesn't know what's
sweeping.
going to hit them. Reds are sweeping in 3. And then you know what? The Cardinals, you know what I think about the
Sweep us.
Cardinals? We're sweeping them. We're winning 6 in a row, ladies and gentlemen, because right now it can't get any worse. It's only can get better from here. All right. Now,
You know
I will
what?
say this. I think the Cardinals are actually like a decent baseball team. I'm a little nervous. I might have just like shot a
No,
little
no,
too
no,
high
no,
there.
no. Don't stop.
But hey,
God, keep
listen,
going.
listen. No, I'm saying the Philadelphia Phillies They're going to go in thinking they're going to just whoop on a bad Reds team. We're going to come out Lodolo, dog, Q start. Chase Burns, he's going to throw 7 innings, no runs, 11 strikeouts, dog. And then we're going to get Andrew Abbott out there, the vet lefty that's not actually a vet. He's going to get out there and show them what's up. I think the Cincinnati Reds are going to show they're a good baseball team. All right, that's all I got, optimistic-wise, because it's really hard to watch the Reds right now. So we got to do something.
It is.
That's all I got.
I love the 6 in a row call. I love it. We got so much negative energy. Like 48 minutes of this was like scorched earth. The Reds.
What do you mean 48 minutes? No, all of it was. We're at 55 minutes. 54 minutes and 30 seconds were negative.
I thought we were kind and some of the Burrow talk.
I will say, I do see a world where this actually comes to fruition, because the life of a Reds fan is never easy. Like, God gives his hardest challenges to his strongest soldiers, us Cincinnati fans. They're gonna, and I will be hooked back in. We'll do Sunday show. I'll be out in the sun. My face will be burnt red in celebration of the Cincinnati Reds, and I'll be first one. I love this team. I think they're the greatest team ever. And then it's gonna be just Space Mountain of just highs and lows. That being said, the pitching lineup against the Cardinals is exactly what we just saw. So you guys keep that in the back of your mind as we progress to Wednesday show, where we have we got what? Singer and Paddock and Lodolo, I guess, would be, because Lodolo would be
Lodolo
on the end. So keep that in mind. Put that in your pocket. Save it till next week. Go Reds. They're getting whooped this weekend or this week.
Listen, we're going to end the show with this. As our loyal listener and occasional guest says, Jerry, this team's a seesaw. Right now, we're at the bottom. But hey, at the end of this week, we're going to be up at the top of that seesaw. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, that's been it for Off the Thread Reds. Thanks for listening. Like always, you can check us out on Mondays and Thursday mornings on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to check us out on social media at OT Thread Reds. And go Reds.